Wait, does Macro Trash have a picture now, or is that just a picture you
Oh,
put there
oh,
for them?
oh! I put that picture there for them. What's
Beautiful.
happening, fam? We're live. Welcome to the lecture hall. Professor Bobo here. Just to answer that quick question, if you don't have a logo, I'm going to find something silly and put it up for you because it's just a blank space. Tonight, Macro Trash, the number 3 team here in Heroic Division, will be going up against Salted Snacks, the number 9 team, looking to sneak their way into the playoffs. And tonight, as a special treat,
We also have
Swoopster. Swoop Diggity Dog. What's happening, brother?
not much. Just here for an exciting, almost end of the regular season Heroic Division matchup between Salted Snacks and Macro Trash that has some pretty huge playoff implications.
The middle part of Heroic Div is packed. It is tight. And the bottom half, where Salted Snacks are looking to get in the playoffs, is equally tight as well. These games, every map right now matters, and that's awesome, to be quite frank. I know you guys
Yeah,
are in the thick of it as well.
right now, as far as it stands, if Salted Snacks drops even a single point in these next 2 games, Luxuriant Sun will be guaranteed a playoff spot. Whether that's 6th, 7th, or 8th is up to a bunch of other matchups. But Salted Snacks playoff spot very much depends on how Arya and the It Bosses performs in their next 2 games as well. However, Salted Snacks does play what's the team? Moto. They play Moto next
Okay.
week.
Yeah, and Moto, it's been a tough season for Moto. So teams are definitely looking to grab points off of those boys. That is for sure.
Where Arya and the It Bosses has a much tougher schedule of they have team name change coming up this Saturday, and I believe Victoria's Secret in the next.
My boys, TNC. My boys. All right. So, for the first map, we're going to be headed to Towers of Doom, the map choice of Macro Trash. It is going to be followed up by Battlefield of Eternity. We're in lobby right now. Rossi just apparently didn't pay his internet bill. Of course, it always strikes right when you want to start a game. We'll see what's going on there. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let's get everything up and in order. We kind of have these teams a little bit reversed. So, Swoop, thank you for showing up. Tell us about your experience playing up against these teams. You're the man with the experience. You know what these teams like to do.
Yeah, so Moto's been a little all over the place as far as I can tell. I know they had a rough start to the season, had some trouble getting their full roster together for practices and for games, where Macro Trash has been a little bit more consistent. I'd say probably one of the more consistent teams in the league in the middle of the pack, where they're not really dropping any games to teams that no one expects them to. They're not really blowing up any teams at the top, but they're a really consistent and really, really good team. I would say that it's going to be pretty tough for Salted Snacks here, who has had a little bit more trouble.
And but they did make the smart move of getting rid of Braxis, which is a big deal, as we know. The favored battleground. And the rare battleground.
Yeah. Macro Trash, I think, is the only team in the division that plays on Braxis. So it's definitely a smart move for Salted Snacks. Go ahead and moving them out of that comfort. I guess we'll see how that works out for them.
And taking a look at our roster, shout out to Hedgie and Rossi for leading in the player impact scores. As always, a shout out to Zadal, our stat guy, for providing me with the advanced look at these teams. As we take a look at the run-in. Last 2 games for Macro Trash. Success, win against Moto, win against Ari and the Yit Bosses. Salted Snacks did pick up a win against Taco Team, but lost to Victoria's Secret. I love seeing Victoria's Secret's record. They've just managed to not lose games. They're gonna be the kind of team where if they wind up falling because of those draws, they're gonna be dangerous leading into the finals for sure. They might be that sort of sleeper team based on seeding alone.
Yeah, I'd say that honestly, I think the division itself is pretty open at the moment. I don't think that there's many teams that couldn't take a game off of some of the top teams. So I think that I'd say, I mean, really, if you're going into the playoffs in the bottom 3 spots, you're going up against 2+2 Victoria's Secret, or either possibly Macro Trash, and those are all extremely good teams. that have shown a lot of resilience.
Right on. And that leads into our first little key to the game, keeping pace with the playoffs. I mean, we've spoken at length what's on the line here, what's going on in the standings. So again, every single map matters. Our second key, no, but is their macro actually trash? The one thing that kind of jumped out when I looked at the stats, the only spot that Salted Snacks has a stat-based advantage over macro trash is in wave clear. So I appreciate that macro trash is really embracing the team name, embracing the meme, making sure that they stay true to their word. And then the last key to the game here, can we get some balance patch curveballs? We're going to head into draft very shortly. With the balance patch coming through during the middle of the week, we had changes to a number of heroes, a shakeup at the top of the support. Meta is possible. I haven't seen too many curveballs, but I'm hoping to get a little something here. You know, Macro Trash has played things like Kael'thas and Zarya and Falstad and even the rare Tassadar. Like, you know, there's, again, Towers of Doom and BOE usually play to some very specific hero pools, but I'm hoping to see something sneak in there.
Yeah, I think the key change to look at on a map like Towers of Doom is the Stukov change, where he got a pretty large nerf to his mana sustain. And on a map with a really long pokey objective like Towers of Doom, that's actually going to have a pretty significant impact on Stukov's ability to maintain, and he's going to be looking for more fast team fights. So we'll see if these teams move away from that into something maybe that can last.
Absolutely, and changes to the cooldown, increase on the level 1 talent growing infestation, as well as a baseline 2-second increase on lurking arm. So you have to be decisive. You know, if you throw lurking arm out there and you get no value, teams at this level are going to see that cooldown and they're going to be more efficient at punishing it. In the first set that I had tonight, he was a first pick ban nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I still think we're probably going to see a priority on heroes like Hanzo, though, where even though Hanzo did get a few nerfs, I think that the biggest nerf he got was, to me, was the explosive arrow nerf.
Okay.
And this isn't a map where you're really fighting in lane a lot, so it's not really going to make that big of a difference in team fights.
No, I agree. Like you can still use explosive arrows to clear waves. You know, like it's a reduction in the range, or excuse me, in the explosion area, but big deal. You know, again, it's a question of whether or not he's going to get the same sort of backline poke.
Right, but we do have Medivh and Zeratul bans coming out now. Medivh pretty standard, but Zeratul a little bit less so. Maybe a targeted ban there.
Talk to me about that Zeratul ban. Like, I mean, I thought Zeratul was trash.
Zeratul's very much not trash. Right? I can tell you that much. But it might just be on a map, again, like Towers of Doom, where you end up in split situations. Zeratul can definitely get a lot of value. And just VP to set up late game, huge team fights that win the game. But I don't really know the hero pools of this team well enough to know if they're targeted banning someone specifically. You have to assume they are, though.
I like Q build Zeratul. I really do. You know, again, it's late game. It's going to spike deep into the game, especially like post 16 when the build really comes together. Just taking a peek at our scouting reports, there is no Zeratul here.
It's very interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about that Zeratul ban, especially with they're immediately picking up the Maiev, which is probably in terms of meta a little bit higher priority.
Right. There's the Genji. Okay, so the one thing that we're looking at here is if you're banning Zeratul, you want to stop the dive. Is there something else you're afraid of? And Macro Trash moves immediately into double assassin and does go ahead and grab the Genji for themselves.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised. I think Junkrat is something that Macro Trash likes a lot. I think it's really strong in the meta. I think it's really strong in this map. And Genji, obviously, even just taking that away from Maiev with all those cleanup kills, it's pretty good. I think those are pretty intelligent picks, especially now that you can't really choke out supports for the second round here.
A bit of a risk in that, though, showing both of their DPS heroes, I would 100% expect and like to see something along the lines of Diablo and whatever support you feel is best equipped to deal with those two heroes. I mean, Diablo,
yeah, for sure.
Diablo should do it. It just does objectively well, not just with Maiev, but into Ganjo and into Hunkrat, our beloved Overwatch sapper. But they've got two Overwatch heroes, man. Like, come on, that makes a oh.
Okay, so it's gonna be the Johanna here. You often see people take Johanna with Maiev, not just because they're good together, they are, but because it takes Johanna away from the other team.
Yep.
and Johanna is very strong against Maev. Obviously, the unstoppable. The blind on Maev stops the Umbral Bind from connecting,
Yes.
which is a pretty big cooldown.
And on top of that, you're also you're adding wave clear, and in the position in the draft right now, Salted Snacks has the option to ban out whatever tank they don't want to deal with. Johanna still objectively good into Garrosh.
Right.
And if you want to get rid of the Diablo, who was unchanged as of this balance patch, the option is there.
Right, and I think we're probably, based on what I'm seeing here, I'm expecting probably a Diablo pick from Macro Trash. I think the Abathur is really strong. Obviously, this is Abathur's map. If you're going to pick Abathur, you play Abathur. This is the map you take him on. So I like the direction that Salted Snacks is taking here.
And the ban for Macro Trash is Rhaegar. What is
that I also find surprising.
What is going to be the backline / clone target? I mean, a Maev clone is like, it's interesting, but it's not great. I mean, the one thing that we're not seeing here is a dedicated solo laner. Obviously, given the way that the draft's going to play out, you don't expect 4 melee up front. Is there a still going to go with a Phoenix here?
I'm not sure. I'm not even really. I think as far as bans, I think they're probably looking to. I don't think they're going to look to ban out a support. I think they're going to look to ban out a tank, whichever one they don't want to deal with here.
Yeah.
And I really don't know what they're looking for in a clone target. I think they could still go Greymane or Jaina. I think Jaina, especially just the AoE damage you can put on that Warden's Cage, and just the slows to set up Johanna and Maev to help them get onto people for their CC is pretty strong. I'm not sure if Salted Snacks traditionally plays Jaina, but I think it would be a strong pick for them here.
Get rid of the Dahaka to take the global away. But again, we're going to run into this odd spot where you've set up with 2 heroes that are going to be in your 4-man, unless you have an unorthodox lane setup. I could see a Thrall for Salted Snacks. We're both surprised to see that Diablo's still up. There's the Kayn. This is a weird draft.
I agree. What I will say is, little known fact about draft, if you're hovering a hero and you type a smiley face, it will automatically show the hero that you're hovering in the emoji. So I don't know if that's a hint that we're getting Mardo's Janie.
Oh, man. They're calling me a more. We'll just pop the chat box up there. Oops. How do you feel about Deckard Cain? I feel like there are comps where he works. It's still a risk. But I actually think that he's going to do very well into an Abathur comp where the amount of burst damage is going to not be minimal, but limited.
Yeah, I think Deckard's a really strong hero. I wouldn't say that I think that in some comps he's really oppressive.
Yeah, I don't see OP. I definitely don't.
Yeah.
I hate that anybody who thinks that he's OP. I think his level of execution is very high, and there's a lot of opportunity there. But
I think that Diablo's still up, and I think that the Diablo gives Deckard really good opportunities to follow up. Just that scroll of sealing into an APOC combo just locks down the enemy team for a year and a half. So he's definitely a great follow-up for CC, but we have to see what kind of tank that they're thinking to go into here to set that up.
Should be a bit of safety if you are not in the Warden's Cage and you could just throw out the eminently memeable Lordnado.
Yes. And I mean, his sustain, again, on a map like this, like I've said before,
Yeah.
on long pokey objectives, is very good. Any rotation, he can set those potions along rotations that help aid those. He really does offer a lot on this map.
Last 2 picks here for Salted Snacks. They take the Greymane, so there's their clone target and maybe their sort of off-lane babysitter. And Stukov makes it all the way to the bottom of the draft.
Yes, I'm not surprised by that, I wouldn't say, but I would say that if I had to guess, I think Salted Snacks got everything they wanted in this draft. That more or less looks like a comp that they wanted.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that anything banned or taken would have steered them in a different direction. So
I totally agree. I mean, you had your Greymane. You even had options there. You brought up the possibility of seeing the Jane or something along those lines, but they have a comp that looks unopposed based on a Zeratul Rhaegar set of bans.
Which I will say are still very interesting bans. I would like to hear Macro Trash's position on that.
If they dominate, maybe we'll have to ask. You know what? If they wanted the Deckard Cain, maybe they just felt like they had to get rid of Zeratul. Again, they picked up Genji real early,
Yeah,
right?
potential.
And they're just trying to get rid of things that maybe they feel like kill Deckard Cain. A Muradin
It's the
last pick.
Muradin.
The old reliable.
Yeah, I mean Muradin's a good tank for sure. Well, on one hand, I'm surprised we didn't see the Diablo because of the follow up from Deckard Cain. On the other hand, I can imagine Diablo being extremely difficult to play into what Salted Snacks has here. So I would say Muradin's a bit safer.
Okay.
I think it would be really difficult to play Garrosh into that as well. So I don't hate the pick.
Mr. Your Grim, thank you for the follow. As we cross the 100 follower threshold, shout out to the NGS fam. Bay State Swoop TV, give us spoilers. What's happening 2 minutes from now? Loading screen.
It is a fascinating loading screen, though.
I mean, this is interesting. We feel like both teams got exactly what they wanted. They took different directions in the draft, and you're sitting here looking at both of these comps and saying, all right, who's going to execute?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like, so like I was talking about the Deckard, I was thinking more about the AOE lockdown. But when you have a Muradin and a Sonya and a Genji, that enough, just having one scroll of ceiling on top of that is enough to lock down a kill. So it's still good CC follow up for what they have. They definitely can get picks. I think that they're going to be looking more for those skirmishes than they are going to be looking for those team fights, though.
Right on. It's going to be interesting. All right, over on the side of Salted Snacks, looking to claw their way into the playoff picture. Tracer is on the gray main. Rossi will be playing the Stuka. Infrared will be on the Slug. Chips on the Maiev. Chips, nominally their offlaner. Just a quick note. And Blaze TBD will be playing the Johanna. Flip on over here. For Macro Trash, my first time casting them. Frank Jukes on the Junkrat. Already a man after my heart. Hedgie will be playing the Genji. Martos on the Sonya. Stu Manchu, fabulous name on the Muradin. And Frank Juke. Oh, no, we got Frank Jukes. And Spurbeck is going to be playing the Kane. What's the Deckard Kane level 1? Scroll of Identify. Thumbs up. You complete that quest. Armor reduction. Anybody who's going to be stuck within Deckard Kane's route is going to have trouble getting out of there. There's no cleanse, remember, on the other side with Stukov.
Right now, I think that's probably the default level 1 talent for most Deckards I've seen. I think there is probably an argument for Sapphire in terms of just helping set up Storm Bolts and Ancient Spears, but there's no reason not to be safe, especially on a team that's going to be pretty clumped up for the majority of the game.
And I think the Spell Power talent at 1 is a little more of like a ladder solo queue kind of play.
Yeah.
You know, you have the ability in this NGS setup to, make your calls, get your plays.
We're having some interesting mid struggles.
Blaze TBD has Iron Skin, but he's going in deep here. Su Manchu gets wind up chunking out. That's a 3-man pull by Chips, but the root does enough to zone away.
We're still having Sonya uncontested in the top lane here against Abathur.
That's going to hurt. Genji winds up sitting here. It's a 1-1-3 from Macro Trash. They know their macro game is weak, so they're just going to put one guy in each lane. Hedgie there on the Genji, unopposed. And still nobody bothering with top lane.
Yeah, and it looks like Salted Snacks is going for a 4-man rotation here, which is definitely not the norm on a map like Towers of Doom.
Good defensive concussion mine there from Frank Jukes.
And Tracer's going to be picking up the Sapper Camp here.
Slight XP advantage for the side of Macro Trash, largely based on what Sonya's doing top lane. We'll take a peek on up there. One tower is already gone. No one on the side of Salted Snacks has even hinted at going top lane. They're going to have to take bottom lane early in order to make up for what Sonya's going to be doing top lane if this is how they want to play this.
Yeah, and it looks like Salted Snacks has devolved into a 1-1-3. The one of those ones is an Abathur, which I still find interesting. I think that it looks like their strategy here is to sacrifice top lane and take bottom lane, which is
another 2-man pull. Stu Manchu is in deep, hops on over the silence pool. The top wall and top tower will be gone here from bottom lane. Catch this retreat here. Stu Manchu gets the 3rd win proc. Another root comes up from Deckard Cain. Only catches Greymane, but at the same time, Chips is under a big bit of pressure. A lot of cooldowns traded. Nothing really happening. Top lane. Sonya gets rid of the wall. And that provides Macro Trash with a half-level lead.
All right, both teams setting up around this, these altars. Salted Snacks with no one top,
Yeah,
which is very interesting.
I don't even think they're going to throw the Abathur in there, just because of the way that Hedgie's positioned here in mid lane.
Oh, no, Abathur is capping.
Okay. We was waiting 100% for that Genji to wind up
Yeah, Genji was not showing.
sliding out of there. Sonya unable to go after the slug, and now everything in the bottom lane here. Chips with a pull on Stu Manchu. He's going to back off and wait for third win to pop. Or second win, rather. He's a Manadin. He didn't pick third win.
These teams can both have a lot of tools.
Rossi looks almost good. Okay, there's the Junkrat frag grenade. There's another big scroll of Identify. Catches no one, though.
Chips in on Frank Jukes there, but it looks like he might not have enough mana for the Umbral Bind.
Iron Skin was popped. Stu Manchu's in a big bit of pressure here. He's going to get out with 300 XP. And the delay game strong here from Salted Snacks. Mardos misses a spear on the back end. That's a big play. There's a concussion mine here, and it winds up hitting Chips. There's Vault. Does he have Shadow out? Yes, it's not going to matter. Hedgie cleans.
Chips gets taken down by Hedgie there, and it looks like
That'll be
Macro Trash is going to get this altar.
well played by Hedgie. Not just getting the kill, but is sure enough on the Genjo to use his agility to escape the condemned counter kill. First blood claimed by Macro Trash. Elytrax. I recognize that voice. Where have I heard him? I don't know. You've been here before, man. I cast games.
No, he's talking. That's Electra. He's my teammate.
Oh, look at this, dude. You got fans.
Yeah, they're here to make fun of me.
You're suckered in. No, you're in this now.
I also said Moto and draft instead of Salted Snacks, and Axon is very much letting me know that.
Axon is an ever-present member of the NGS chat community. Much love.
We do have a brawl going down here. Frank Juke's under a lot of pressure.
He doesn't have concussion mine, and then winds up picking up the hill from Deckard Cain, who has gone into the shield pot talent, and that is going to be the end of Muradin. A great silence pull. Hedgie on the back line, trying to see if he can pick up a kill on Rossi, but the Admiral winds up escaping. Level 7 coming across from both teams. We'll flash our talents as they are picked up. Emerald. And again, what is the name of that darn shield type? Potion of Shielding. Haha, pretty easy. I love that talent, by the way. I think it's fantastic.
And it is going to be the Emerald here for Deckard Cain, which is reduced healing, which is very strong against Stukov.
Right, and given that Stukov did go through changes where his healing in general has been reduced, including Bile Kill Switch, if you can cancel a trade out with Deckard Cain, it should be enough to win a team fight. Chips winds up getting the pull there onto Frank Dukes, but he has a concussion mine to prevent any of those shenanigans. Scroll of Identify is up at only 5 stacks. It's been tough to hit a Johanna and a Maya with that root.
The stop tower's going down, but they're going to be using the Mule here to keep it very healthy, which is a very interesting strategy we have going top.
I don't think that Mardos cares. And no, he doesn't. He's going to wind up taking this tower. Let's see if he sticks to it. 32 shots apiece on both sides as Salted Snacks picks up bottom, but this is going to cost Mardos. Oh! Oh!
And Frag goes down.
Ooh, okay. That hurt. So, well played by Mardos. Hits the poison spear on the slug. Top bell tower is gone. Bottom bell tower on the side of Macro Chest has taken some damage, but at the same time, they have managed to pick up level 10. X-Strike, Riptire, Avatar. Oh, look what we have here. Let's highlight this. Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen. I do think it is a very strong ultimate paired with Junkrat's Riptire and X-Strike because they simply don't have time to react to the damage coming in.
And they want to force this boss with 10 advantage. But keep an eye on Deckard Cain here. He's got to avoid the boss damage. Junkrat goes down. Big root. Big damage on the Tracer. There's the X-Strike, but nothing doing. The Warden's Cage comes out, and Hedgie is in big trouble. Mardos is also in trouble as well. That is going to be 2 kills. 3 kills for none.
Huge team fight for Salted Snacks there. But they do need to get either their top fort back or bottom fort, which is what I expect. I expected them to trade their top fort for the other Macro Trash's bottom fort, but they
have the
did not follow through.
They have the opportunity to invade here, but they've kind of played this passively, and it's taken them a little while. I don't think they can grab bottom camp. Tracer is looking to channel here, but at the same time, Rossi and Chips are under big pressure. Blaze TBD on Johanna, starting the zone. Stu Manchu under pressure.
Stu Manchu in trouble.
He's in the silence pool. He is gone. Hedgie, however, is on Rossi. Massive shove still available. Misses. But I think that should be enough to deter any possible play. Clone is 35 seconds away because it was used on the Greymane. Macro Trash wants this. Big poison spear on the Tracer. Let's see if this root winds up getting value. That should be the end of Greymane. Riptire will confirm the Greymane kill. Gets big damage. Rossi now is on the wrong side of the wall.
Looking for a cleanup on Rossi and Blaze. I'm not sure if he's going to get it, though.
I don't think Iron Skin is available. That root... Oh, it is available. But Chips goes in. Rossi... Like, what? This is just all over the place, fam.
A lot is definitely happening, though. I have some questions about Salted Snack's macro decisions this game.
They've picked up the advantage in these team fights and over the altars, but they've been constantly trying to channel, and that's been the big issue for them. If they were able in that position where they had, you know, with the Abathur, the 4.5v4 to go try to find another kill, the opportunity is there given Deckard's Cane lack of burst healing. But both times, I think on that one they had Greymane attempting the channel. Junkrat is just going to poke out for as long as possible. The damage was just too much, and one Riptire chunks 3 heroes down and winds up being the difference there. They need to stay aggressive when they get a kill.
Yeah, for sure. They need to be taking advantage of these kill timers way more than they are. Right now, it's Macro Trash is ironically just going to macro them to victory at the moment.
Looking to put some damage here on the back line. That is a Blessed Shield and a Condemn combo, but Spurbeck is going to scurry on away. No tether from Chips. Top altars, 27-32. Shots are in favor of Macro Trash. At the very least, the comeback potential is there. You do have Abathur, and so far, there are the mines. So far, the lead is not enough to cause that sort of panicked play by Salted Snacks. They really only need one here.
Yeah, Salted Snacks is really good, where they really just need to get their composure, get their top fort back. I don't even think they really need to trade these altars. I think they should focus on getting their fort back.
Keep an eye on the clone, though. Chips only has Stu Manchu. There goes the Riptire into the Warden's Cage. It hits a big amount of damage, and Maev and Rossi on that. Stukov are not long for the world. Sonya with a counter kill, though. Stay a while and listen is not going to keep Deckard Cain alive. The positioning has been all over the place. Hedgie cleans up on the back line. On the flip side, Blaze TBD is 1v2ing. He cannot finish Cain off by himself. That is Johanna damage, and, well, it ain't going to be enough. Clone gone. Just Abathur and Johanna.
Things going from bad to worse for Salted Snacks in this game, and I think they really just need to reset, get their towers back, and try and take a team fight on even footing.
Macro Trash has done a very good job of punishing Rossi on that Stukov every time the Lurking Arm has been out there. You know, Murden, old reliable, still has the ability to get in onto a healer and provide, you know, CC, especially to set up Hedgie there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, their Infrared is cloning the Greymane and getting a lot of work done, but they're leaving their backline very vulnerable, and it's just not working out because they're not able to secure the kills against this Deckard.
You don't want to say that this is sort of the end of Stukov's sort of dominance, but they are definitely feeling the reduced healing.
I would agree.
The Riptires have hit multiple members, and even though they haven't specifically picked up, you know, 2 or 3 kills on their own, they set everything up.
And again, we might be seeing just the impact of the Emerald there. I haven't really been able to see how effectively he's been using it, but 75% reduced healing is a lot.
Only 12 stacks on Scroll of Identify, so again, the armor reduction isn't there. If Spurbeck can wind up picking that up, or if he even needs it, that's going to swing these teamfights even more in the favor of Macro Trash. So 7 shots to 32, and Swoop, we talk a lot on Towers of Doom about what is the sort of panic point with the number of shots. At what point are you suddenly in a position where you have to take fights that you obviously don't want to take, or even are a talent level down here? Massive shove.
Hold on, we're breaking into a fight here.
It looks like Riptire's going to get even more value. Tracer on that Greymane is in big trouble. Hedgie's on the backside. The root comes out, and there's the combo.
Huge X strike in the back line. Kills
Massive
2 people.
play. It set up those kills. 12 stacks on Scroll of Identify, up to 16. Scroll of Sealing doing work there. That's what Macro Trash has been looking for. They didn't even need it until now, but triple altar.
Macro Trash is writing Salted Snacks as eulogy at the moment.
Hey,
But to answer your question earlier, that there really is no panic point on the shots once you're past the second triple altar phase, because at that point you can always kind of contest. For me, at least, the bigger panic point is when you lose your bottom fort. Other teams gaining control of the bottom fort is when they put you in a position where you have to make bad decisions.
But see, this is the spot right here where, okay, you're down to one shot. I mean,
but also at one.
Right. You want to, you always want to put your best foot forward there. But
Once you're at one, it's really all about if altars spawn top and they can get sappers bottom, or if the boss is up and one of the altars is bottom, it puts you in a really bad position.
When you get down to like 10 shots, all of a sudden the boss has a really different meaning. And that's where, okay, so you're not going to have to deal with triple altar spawns. Gank attempt here on the Mardos. But once you start getting into single digits, the boss has such a huge impact because you can start to trade altars for boss.
Right.
And at that point, you got to make decisions. Infrared is
and it
gone.
looks like Infrared is just deleted.
Stormbolt to the slug. Sappers are pushing in here. This looks like it's going to be maybe not the end here, but Macro Trash.
Not even done with the Stormbolt quest yet.
Macro Trash has played this wonderfully.
In fact, there isn't a completed quest in the game except for Shuriken Mastery.
Here we go. Sapper is up there. Riptire is going to zone out. Chips is trying to get rid of these Sappers. That's a kill onto Stukov as well. Stay a while and listen. And that Sapper, he needs one more minion to get out of there.
That Sapper wants to get in so bad.
Maiev goes down. There it is. Game. All right.
That was a very convincing performance by Macro Trash.
And even though Salted Snacks got what they wanted in draft, letting Sonya push top, probably not the winning move.
I'm not convinced of their macro decisions. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whose map pick that was. I assume it was Macro Trash's.
It was. Yes, you were correct.
Okay. Maybe Salted Snacks just doesn't play a lot of towers. I'm not sure what happened in their draft or their play, but it's just unfortunate. They just need to keep their heads settled and try and pull out a draw from this next series. Though, again, they don't need it to get into the playoffs. Really, they just need to tie Arya and the Bosses because they do take the head-on-head tiebreaker against Arya and the Bosses.
And that's why Swoopaloop, I'm so happy to have you because you are the man with the standings.
Yeah, that's because that's all I'm thinking about.
It's really but I mean it's a great point because you look at maps like this and you're like, okay, well, if Salted Snacks just wanted to try things or just kind of hold things back or they want to say, hey, let's see what Abathur can do on this map. Maybe to some degree they're trying to feel some heroes out or going in a different direction. If you have the opportunity to do that, why not take it for a map or two? If you know that your season comes down to one set, all right, maybe they took a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't fault them for that. We ripped out a Kerrigan comp the other day. So, sometimes you just try things. But, not looking good on the side of Salted Snacks, who I really felt like got everything they wanted in draft, which is not a great sign. But, like I said, they can still make it into playoffs, and I think they have a very good chance of still making it into playoffs. But that loss does mean that Luxuriant Sun locks their position in the playoffs. Yes, clap for us.
All those draws paid off.
Does not decide our seeding, though, so that's still to come.
All right, let's go ahead and get our lobby on and set up. Second map will be Battlefield of Eternity. I thought it was an interesting pick on the side of Salted Snacks because Macro Trash loves their 2-lane maps. They love brawling.
Yeah, and they look good doing it. They're lining up their skill shots. They're all coordinating, and they play really well around the heroes that they're getting. I'm really hoping to see maybe a Junkrat ban or a Genji ban coming out from the side of Salted Snacks this time. Maybe trying to get them off some of these comforts, give them a better chance.
With the balance patch changes, do you feel like it changes any of the priorities on ranged racers here on BOE?
Personally, I feel like it maybe makes you rethink taking Phoenix. I really haven't tested the Phoenix numbers out a lot. I feel like Phoenix was already in kind of a questionable spot. So I don't know if you still take Phoenix here. And like I said, like everyone wasn't really sure about it in the heroic division. He wasn't being taken constantly, but it is a good map for anyone who has high auto attack DPS. Hanzo is still extremely powerful on this map. I probably expect a ban or a pick to come out on him, but I kind of expected him last game. Um, these teams might just not play Hanzo, but I expect him on this map.
It's going to be interesting to see where Greymane winds up moving, because we've seen, you're 2-3 months ago. I mean, it was first pick Greymane. He was in every single draft, right?
Right.
And he's gone away because of the power level on other ranged heroes. But this is still BOE. I've seen a couple games where Greymane's been picked up, specifically on this map, and it seems like he's creeping back up for teams a little bit. I mean, he's just such a comfortable hero for ranged assassins to play. I'm just wondering, again, if it's BOE and if you feel like the Hanzo nerf was enough, maybe he has a place. The key for me with this Hanzo ban and the reduction on the AA is how Hanzo interacts with the set of tanks that were unable to get to him before. Because previously, all you could do in this meta was just pick Diablo. ETC can't get there. Murden fell out of favor. Anubarak gets chunked down, and Hanzo's the natural counter to Garrosh. Well, if you lessen that AA range, is it a little bit easier, like I said, for the rest of the tank pool to get onto Hanzo?
On a map like Volskaya, I would say, yeah, I'd say the AA range is a pretty huge nerf.
Mm-hmm.
On a map like Battlefield, though, I mean, traditionally, one of the reasons we saw Diablo on this map a lot is because everything's a wall. Everywhere you are, there's a wall, and it makes Hanzo just way more free on where he's allowed to position. So even with the range nerfs on his auto and his trait, I still don't think it's going to be a noticeable nerf here again, because you're not even seeing the explosive arrow nerf, which in my opinion, as far as damage output, is the biggest one. And I just don't feel like his safety is ruined that much, unless maybe there's a tank break point I'm not thinking about, where it just puts him just in range of maybe Stormbolt or something.
ETC interests me, the interaction with him, because I mean ETC was, again, you always hear, like, it's an overused cliche, made of paper, but he is made of paper when the other side has Hanzo. If you can't power slide and get on the other side of Hanzo, he's gone. So, like I said, I'm just trying to look and see if, and again, it'll take a couple weeks. We'll have to go through Midseason Brawl as well, just to see if some of the tanks that have fallen out of favor have a little bit more success against him.
Right, and we get an immediate Genji ban coming out here.
This is such an NGS thing. You play a hero, you dominate with it, and then when you come out in the next game, you immediately ban one of the things that made you successful. It's just it's a weird little mind game that everybody plays. It's interesting.
I think it's interesting because it tells me that they don't want it here, but it makes me wonder why they don't want it. Where it's not really. I mean, obviously Genji doesn't have a good race, but it's a good map for him. A lot of walls to jump over. A lot of very little open space for people to run away from him. So I'm surprised at this Genji ban.
It screams of either trying to force the Hanzo ban or first pick Hanzo.
Yeah, possibly. Maybe they just want Hanzo. Though I don't know how much they favor it. We didn't see a Hanzo pick coming out last game, though. Obviously, he's a little bit better on this map as well.
I think a lot of guys at this level play the Hanzo, but it's not something, to be quite honest, that Macro Trash, really hard relies on. They've actually gone into, probably more so than many teams, into more mages. They play a fair amount of Gul'dan, touch of Chromie here and there. They do like their Genji. Well, you see Li Ming sprinkled in there. They were grabbing Phoenix when possible, and
they're going to stick with the Junkrat. That's it's this huge comfort for them. They basically pick it every game that I've seen them play. But I do find it surprising on this map.
He takes so long to get going.
He makes, the one thing I'll say for him is that he makes defending against the Immortal and pushing with the Immortal a nightmare for the other team. But for getting the Immortal and just skirmishing in general, where you don't, he can poke the Immortal kind of a la Li Ming, but I just feel like there's other heroes that might have gotten more value here.
We'll see how Salted Snacks responds with the Medivh being removed. Why with the Junkrat? Okay. I don't mind it. I love it. He's so annoying in a hilarious manner. Why not?
I'm very sad that you like Junkrat.
Oh, I love. Well, I spent okay. So I spent last season playing tanks. Previously, so this season when I get to play heroes that have just absurdly long ranges and never die, it's just a thrill. Like you know what I mean? You just get to hang back and press buttons. This is great.
Yeah.
All right, Garrosh and Greymane are picked up. So if we were wondering, does Greymane move up? There he is. First rotation from Salted Snacks.
And I like it a lot, though I like it a lot less into the 3 heroes that Macro Trash already has.
Yep.
Greymane's still a strong hero, and especially with Phoenix moving down, it means Greymane's moving up. I mean, Greymane's just a lot of damage, and he has good mobility. He doesn't have a lot of weak points, though against blinds and endless CC, we do have to make sure that Greymane player's gonna have to make sure he plays really safe.
You know, I didn't think when they shifted Greymane's power into Worgen form, it was going to be that big of a deal. But the way that the tank meta changed, Johanna, Garrosh, and Diablo, it punishes. I mean, those 3 tanks are objectively fantastic against Greymane. They, each in different ways.
It's unlucky.
Yeah, you don't like pressing the E button with the Greninja anymore. Malthael removed here, as Salted Snacks wanted to get rid of one of the preeminent Garrosh killers and a hero that Macro Trash has played quite often. And on the flip side, Stukov is banned out as Malfurion stands alone in this draft.
Yeah, I think Malthael is probably a surprising ban. Might be a surprising ban for some people just because not every team picks him up. But I think the teams that play Malthael have a lot of success with him. He's obviously also decent on Immortal. He's a very dominant solo laner and gets most of the things that you're taking. So yep. I like the ban here, and I think the Stukov ban is pretty smart as well. Just knowing that the support players have been playing Stukov for so long that even with the nerfs, most support players are still very comfortable on Stukov.
I agree. Macro Trash has gone with Malthael twice out of their last 5 maps. It's there. 1 win, 1 loss in there.
This realm needs me.
Li Ming, the Greymane Li Ming combo. This is. It honestly feels like it's been there for the entirety of the game on Battlefield of Eternity. You get one, you get the other. I had this actually in the previous set that I did tonight. Was not effective, but everybody who plays ranged knows how to play Greymane and Li Ming. They are just absurdly comfortable picks, and they are both at the top of the race charts.
Yeah, I mean, the first week I ever played this game, Greymane was on the home screen, and 2 weeks later, Li Ming came out.
Nice.
So
right on.
They've been around for a long time, and a lot of people are comfortable on them. They're both good on this map. They always have been, and you have the bonus of double resets if that's the direction they choose to go.
Shout out to Swing Time, rating us with a party of 5. I'll have to get you back for that, BB. Thank you. Swing, one of our newly promoted casters, has done a fantastic job this season. We are incredibly happy to have her in the NGS family. And then the double blinds come out.
I love it, personally.
God, I hate Artanis. Prove me wrong, but it's got to do something cool. All right, Artanis and Cassia. I
don't even care.
All right.
I don't even care what Salted Snacks picks. I love this draft by Macro Trash because I love Cassia. I tried to convince my team to play this comp essentially a very long time ago, and they're like, "Oh, we don't believe in the blind synergies."
But the cool thing about Cassia is every game that I've played with her, at some point you're just gonna 1v3 the other team. Like, they're just not going to have the CC, or they're not going to have or you've already eliminated, like, the damage. You're like, all right, let's just go kill the Cassian now. And she just presses a whole bunch of buttons, hits everybody, and you're gone.
I don't know how Greymane plays this game at the moment. I don't know if we're going to see a cocktail build or what, because he just is going to have so much trouble going against this comp.
This needs to be Uther. It's Alex.
Alex
I think that 100% had to be Uther. If you're going to get anything out of Greymane in this game, Sonya gets on the back line, and when Greymane goes in to follow it up, he has to be de-shielded. They're going to try with Cleansing Flame and the Dragon Queen. We'll see what Infrared can do. I don't know about that. I don't know how Greymane's going to do into this. Without a cleanse? Beyond Garrosh just shucking you out of there?
I'm not sure about the Alexstrasza pick. In the comp or on the map specifically, the dragon is really powerful, but it turns It turns Alexstrasza into a very big body on a map with a lot of tight corridors. Just makes her very awkward to maneuver. Makes it so you can't pop it on the opponent, on the enemy's immortal, or you're just going to constantly get stunned. It's going to be a difficult game for Alexstrasza, but I guess we will see how it works out.
I think Salted Snacks needs to win the early game so very hard, because once level 10 comes online.
I would agree. I think that they have. I mean, both teams have good race here. I would say that Salted Snacks has slightly better race, though amateur opponent Artanis and Cassia are a lot of damage. Greymane, Li Ming, and Sonya are also very quick at racing.
All right, on to game number 2. Macro Trash looking to pick up the domination here. Spurbeck will be playing the Malfurion. Stu Manchu on the Johanna. Look at this Skinnergy. Hedgie on the Cassia. Frank Jukes on the Junkrat. And Martos flexing on that Artanis. Here on the flip side, Blaze TBD will be playing the Garrosh. Tracer, always messing me up in these games, will be playing Li Ming. Infrared on the Greymane. Rossi will be on the Dragon Queen. Chips on the Sonya. Taking a peek at talents. Everything looks pretty standard, including Cassia going into charge strikes at level 1. Although Li Ming goes into... Okay, power hungry, yep.
It is going to be the extra throw range for Garrosh. You see a lot of Garroshes going into the Q quest on level 1. But it looks like they're going for that extra range, maybe to get people over towers or into immortal stuns. I like it.
Raven, Fly's Raven hates Artanis, I'm out. I want to be proven wrong. That's my challenge. I don't like it when... And again, this is the division where guys know how to play. But you can't just pick Artanis and go, well, I'm going to race. You've got to make a difference. And we'll see. We'll see what Martos has for us in this game. Gauntlet thrown. Prove me wrong.
That's a big Junkrat mine.
That's a... Wow, and a big stun there by Blaze TBD to work himself on out of there.
Gonna walk out comfortably in the end.
It's gonna be...
We are seeing the Q build come out from this Alexstrasza, which is interesting against the Junkrat level poke that they have. It's going to be interesting to watch Alexstrasza's positioning here, making sure she stays above 75% health.
But I think, you know, given the map, given the struggles, and given the fact that if you're going to go into a globe-based build, if I saw that, I would assume Frank Jukes would just put the concussion mine on every single globe and just deny for the entirety of this game, and that would make it quite difficult. Blaze TBD with a groundbreaker there. He winds up getting launched on the other side. He actually ate the root on the flyover. Eats the root there, but winds up escaping. Heck of a combo from Frank.
Yeah, they're definitely getting the CC onto this Garrosh, but they're not having the damage to seal it. It is very difficult against the Garrosh, obviously.
Top lane, the Eternal Battle. Martos and Chips just sort of trading here. Keeping an eye there, Martos. I'm trying to work around that shield cooldown. And Chips just swiped that globe.
We're seeing Macro Trash move on to this camp. Doesn't look like it's... Oh, Blaze TDB is going to scout it out. I'm not sure you can do anything, though.
No. Infrared wound up backing off to grab.
Doesn't have an Indomitable yet, so he can't walk into that Junkrat mine.
That's another pattern I've seen in these games. Stu Manchu has Iron Skin, so he'll get out. Greymane, always quick to grab the Shaman camp, and... I mean, it doesn't take much. But when teams see the Greymane gone...
Infrared might? Okay.
Wow. The Siege camp always winds up getting picked up as the Greymane disappears from the lane. Listen, that's something to keep an eye on for those of us, those of you in chat that are not up on your high-level rotations. If Greymane disappears off of the map, he's grabbing mercs. Make a play.
It is good merc timings by both teams here.
Slight level advantage here. We'll throw our level 4 talents up there.
Curious how teams are going to approach this. They are going to need clear in bottom lane, and they're going to send Greymane.
No, and Martos winds up cleaning up top. There's really nothing Blaze TBD can do to get onto Frank Juice on this Junkrat.
I think he's taking a little bit... Oh, it's a good flip on Cassia, but again, no follow-up.
Just missed the Immortal stun. Keep an eye on Martos here. He has the opportunity to swap Blaze. Misses. Now has to contend with Chips. But it looks like Macro Trash has bought themselves the opportunity to move towards the halftime show here. And that's an early Dragon Queen.
The Dragon Queen that I
Mardos
think
in
is
trouble.
okay. Except
Wow, the concussion mine actually launches chips onto the Artanis. Rossi
they're going
winds
to
up
need to
clean.
start putting damage on their Immortal, though. I'm not sure how long they can really hold Macro Trash off of this.
And they're sending the Leeming Greymane combo down there. Stu Manchu is going to apply the blinds, play a little bit of defense with Johanna at the same time. Chips Rossi and Blaze defending their Immortal. Infrared is deep here. Dodges the root. Oh, Blaze TBD is going to find Hedgie. There's the throw. Gets the stun combo. Chips is there as well. Hedgie should be okay.
Line.
Halftime obtained by Macro Trash, courtesy of Mardos. Frank Jukes.
You're going to see Johanna step in here and throw a blind. Maybe not.
They have enough race that they can catch up.
Looks like
Maybe
it's
not.
just going to be a straight race here.
Misjudged it. Ooh!
95.
Ooh, boy.
Unlucky.
Somebody in there probably stutter step, missed an auto attack, and that was it.
Even just that Johanna kind of thinking about going over and hanging mid a little bit too long might have been. Or, no, they won, but they won, though. So.
Absolutely. But made it close. Standard 4-1 split. The concussion mine winds up launching Blaze TBD. He's looking to get back around the wall. Dodges the root. Trent doesn't quite have enough power to solo the garage down here. Should be top wall. Again, it's an incredibly low health Immortal. If they even manage to pick up a well here, it would be a huge win. And I think they're going to get it. Okay.
Titans King is shouting, is just saying that he's very disappointed in Infrared's ability to feed to a camp. Thinks he would have done much better on it.
I think Titans King just lives in a perpetual state of disappointment. So, you know, when he's happy, then we'll mark it. What's happening, brother? Titans King.
Almost dying bottom to minions, I guess.
Titans King, another chat god. All of that, 2 kills for Salted Snacks. The Immortal going over to Macro Trash, and these teams just about even on XP here. We'll see how much that winds up punishing Salted Snacks, though.
Yeah, I think it's still an okay position for both teams. No real experience lead for either team. Going to be trading camps here. It's really going to come down to the next Immortal. First Immortal usually gets about that much, so definitely no disappointment from either team here.
There's a flip. Iron Skin is used. And Artanis just winds up using the Q to provide a little bit of PvE damage. Rossi has left the game. There's the pause. Okay. So we'll take a quick break. Both teams deep into level 8. Right now, Salted Snacks is actually a slight bit ahead.
Yeah, and both teams are taking a similar approach here. It looks like they're just going to trade damage onto each other's walls.
So, what would you like to see here, given this game is even? Do you feel, Swoop, in your opinion, does one team have to press here, or are they both just going to sort of sit and play things even?
Right now, I don't think that either team has a particular advantage. I think the skirmishes are very much in Macro Trash's favor. So I would like, right now, I think trading is probably the right thing to do given the circumstances. What they're doing here, both teams are just going to look to clear each other's camps. But really, at this point in the game, you're just playing for the next Immortal. Both teams are pretty confident on their ability to race Immortal and fight around Immortal. So
Okay.
I think that's what it's going to come down to.
All right. Both teams are back and ready, so let's get our countdown going. And game on. 30 seconds on our second Immortal phase. Salted Snacks, I think we're thinking about making a play there. Back off, think the better of it. Both teams will take the opportunity to grab their Shaman camps here. As expected. Wasn't sure if anybody was going to force a fight. Nobody really felt the need to.
It is notable that Macro Trash is a lot closer to 10 here, though.
Yes. It's kind of been fascinating in that it seems like it swings every wave to one team or the other. Now you see Salted Snacks kind of catch up. Do they soak an extra lane? They leave Chips bottom. Mardos is top. Both the solo laners looking to deal with each other's camps.
I think we're gonna, if we see defensive positions by these Immortals, this is gonna be very interesting.
Oh, and the Artanis gank is on. There's the stun there from Blaze TBD. They don't have 10, but it should be the end of Mardos. Almost gets the backflip. Did he get out of there? Wow. And Stu Manchu now going in. Hits a two-man condemn. Blaze TBD is under a bit of pressure. Takes the abundance from Alex Straza. And everything stays even. Level 10,
Huge
though,
break
is...
for Macro Trash.
Level 10 is picked up. We see Twilight Dream, Riptire. We're going to assume all the standard picks there. Suppression Pulse. Blessed Shield. And Ball Lightning. You want the leap? Oh, there's the Riptire. And even though it goes past... Oh, the Twilight Dream winds up securing the kill onto Greymane. Riptire hits Garrosh, and now the chase is on here. Cleansing Flame coming out. Hedgie will leave Garrosh to scurry on out of there. And now Macro Trash will put Artanis to work on the Immortal. Defense coming out here. Iron Skin was used. There's an opportunity to grab a taunt here. Stu Manchu can be had.
Interesting not to throw the Johanna into the Immortal stun there.
I think they were focused on just trying to finish the race.
Oh, no, she was defending, sorry.
Yeah, I think they were trying to... I just think they wanted to get her out of there and just finish the race, and were not able to do so. Wave of Force. Go for the throat. Warlord's Challenge. We saw Cleansing Flame and Wrath of the Berserker. Were you calling for a leap in there?
I wanted it, but I was just for the memes.
It's funny how it's a meme at this level.
It's good in Hero League.
You know what it does? It makes up for the lack of comms. Because you can't just say now. You can just say, oh, and then they're like, okay, that. Yeah. Alright, so Wrath is picked up. Concussion Mine over the top there. Blaze TBD looking to maybe get a throw as soon as this gate goes down. Thinks the better of it. The Immortal down to half health. Dragon Queen to help secure the keep. The swap on Amardos, he is stuck now. Suppression Pulse comes out. The taunt as well. Alex Straza is going to... Ooh. Okay, Frank Jukes, I see you. Okay. I didn't think there was any way he was getting out of that. What a play by Junkrat.
Junk God. Gonna be an invade on this bottom.
Blaze TBD is angry. Guys, Salt this next wants to play.
Oh, Tracer gets deleted.
The Riptire was just sitting and waiting. Blaze TBD went in deep. He winds up beating the Silence on the Twilight Dream there. Chips is on the backside, trying to apply some pressure to Junkrat, but Garrosh will go down.
Does with this? They might go for keep here.
They can. Frank's going to wind up getting the Sonya just on auto attacks. Mardos is at the front. Their siege damage is going to start to spike. You put Artanis on a keep with the protection there from Junkrat, it's going down. It would take a miracle to end this game, but the keep is for sure gone.
I think they're just going to look for keeping back off. But Broccoli's going for core. Broccoli.
It's good to see Trent back in the meta. I like the move here by Macro Trash as well. They're going to prep the next Immortal phase. They have level 13. Now a 3. Yeah, really just a 2-level lead.
And if they can maintain this, they're going to have this talent lead going into this Immortal. It's going to be pretty big for Salted Snacks. We'll probably see them defend here.
And when you look at the structural damage that Salted Snacks has been able to pick up, they've got most of the gate and the wall top, but no pressure bottom. Let's see if Blaze TBD gets out of here. They're at the point where they, all of a sudden, the number of team fights you have to win is just spiking. The Concussion Mine winds up getting Frank Jukes on out of there, but Blaze TBD is in trouble. Throw into Groundbreaker allows him to go and tap. I mean, if you're on the side, if you're on the side of Salted Snacks, you're like, well, we have to win what, maybe 16 fights just to get back into this one. Stu Manchu is playing defense.
It is not looking good again for Salted Snacks. Macro Trash just has a real hold over these team fights.
No, and Salted Snacks still hasn't dealt with top camp. This is going to be a top lane push for Macro Trash. Should they secure this Immortal, and I see no reason why they won't. Level 13 still not even close on the side of Salted Snacks. Stu Manchu looking to eat whatever he can off of Garros. There's a huge swap on an infrared. The Suppression Pulse comes out. He is locked in the root. Greymane is gone. The Riptire comes out. Cleansing Flame just doesn't have enough time to make a saving play there. Early gray main pick.
Interesting to see how Macro Trash is going to push with this.
Another
swap on Alex.
Mardos, you got to finish that kill for me to believe. All right, I'm in. He's got that Artanis, and he's making use of it.
And they're looking for Blaze TV.
Oh, they got it for sure. Okay. I got to eat my words. This Artanis doing work. Between Frank Jukes and Mardos, Macro Trash dominating this game, 7 kills to 2. Looking for the second keep of the game.
They're definitely making Greymane's life difficult, as we predicted.
And you look at the hero damage. Again, it doesn't always tell the entirety of the story, but Greymane has the same amount of hero damage as Garrosh, because every time he steps in, Root, Suppression Pulse, Johanna, Rip Tire, not getting out of there. Swap attempt by Mardos. Stu Manchu using Iron Skin to get out. The keep will go down, still a little bit of shield left.
I think they're looking for blood here.
Graysville throwing us the late host. You might be just in time for the end of the game. Chat, if you are just joining us, Macro Trash looking to put the finishing touches on this game. That's another good swap there by Mardos.
Trouble.
Uses the gate. Riptire just kind of hanging out there. There's a big spear on a Mardos. Zoning Riptire.
The mind to push him out of the heal.
The Immortals got this down to 85%. Chips goes down. Greymane's rooted. He'll go down soon.
We need to kill this Immortal.
That's the end of the game right there. Twilight Dream is going to end the Greninja's life. The Immortal still not gone. Game number 2. Goes over to Macro Trash.
Very strong series by Macro Trash, who is pushing for a top 3 seed.
That's certainly going to help him there. Convincing victory.
And while obviously not ideal for Salted Snacks, like I said, they're still not out of it. If Arya and the Bosses loses both of their series coming up, Salted Snacks only needs a draw, but they would probably prefer to win against Moto next week.
Well, you know, the one thing about that matchup, listen, it's been a struggle for Moto, so the opportunity seems like it should be there. Shout out, Titans King. Throwing the shout out to Stu Manchu for the tank play. Agree. Did a very good job there. Let's see if we can queue up Hedgie. In lobby for int if avail. As we take a look at our stats here. Graysville, thank you for the late host. Guys, we'll be looking to bounce everybody here in chat to the next game. In fact, guys, if you're in chat right now, just do us a favor. Go scout out. Tell us where you want to send this stream next.
Howdy, howdy.
Well played, sir.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to win a game in that convincing of a manner when you're looking for a top 3 seed going into playoffs?
Honestly, it feels pretty good, man. We went into this game. We've been practicing a lot on some strategies to be some of the top teams. So we came into this not expecting to use any of those strategies, and we didn't have to, and it felt great.
You guys played everything pretty standard, played everything pretty clean. First game really looked like Salted Snacks was just going for, I guess you want to say, kind of like an odd, we're going to leave Abathur alone up here. But it seemed like that first game set you guys up for the second game. In particular, first pick Junkrat on BOE. Rare, but quite effective.
So we've seen a lot of shifts with the meta with some of these changes that have come out here. And I don't think it's any secret to any player who's been playing in Hero League here recently that it's pretty clear that out of the ranged heroes that you had Phoenix, Hanzo, Junkrat, that Junkrat seems to be above the rest. And so we just figured it was pretty safe. It wasn't anything, out there crazy where we were trying to build a super comp, but it was really safe for us to just go ahead and solidify that Junkrat, make sure we had the range over our opponents, and then just move into those games forward. I will point out, I was listening to the stream, and I did hear the comment on the weird bands in the first phase.
Yeah, we just want to know what's up.
It
just seemed very pointed. That's all.
Well, so if we're being honest,
yes.
We did our research.
Okay.
And we definitely looked into this team going into this, and it seemed like they had an MVP. And as far as their MVP goes, he was a pretty big Tracer Genji Zeratul main.
Okay.
And we knew from practice that if we were playing the Junkrat, Tracer isn't a threat, so we don't have to worry about Tracer. And we didn't need to worry about Genji if they first picked it, because then we wouldn't go Junkrat. And if they didn't go Genji and we picked the Junkrat, we were worried about them potentially getting the Zeratul to pop our Junkrat, and we wouldn't be able to protect it. And then as far as the Rhaegar goes, we kind of had a pop comp where we're going to kind of go in, kill one of your targets, and then see where the fight goes from there. And we didn't have fast enough damage to deal with an Ancestral Healing. So we just wanted to go ahead and take that off the board.
And it made sense. It also seemed like it felt the Stukov nerfs in that first game.
Yeah,
felt
indeed.
them very hard.
Yeah. Were you surprised by Salted Snacks' decision to leave Abathur alone with Sonya for a good 3 to 5 minutes?
With how they drafted their team comp, no, not really. We expected that they would try to kind of capitalize on the 4-man. So we just knew that we just needed to be safe and then let Sonya do the work in top, and that was going to get us the XP lead that we needed. I was surprised as Sonya was, taking the entire gate up top. They didn't rotate anybody to deal with that.
Yeah, we had no idea about what was going on there. And then the kicker was Mardos hitting the spear on the slug. That trade was very nice. And then a shout out to him as well, because I personally hate seeing Artanis, because I hate the idea that he's just an amateur opponent bot, but he did a really effective job in that second game. You guys were on top of Greymane every single time.
I was about to say, 3 blinds, there's not much Greymane can do. It was definitely, I actually thought it was funny because we were like, Malthael, Artanis, Malthael, Artanis. They're like, ban Malthael. Well, we know what we're going, Artanis.
This is the main thing I want you to do for me, is I want you to explain to my team captain, Bay State, in the chat, why triple blinds with Cassio and BOE is great.
Look at this. He gets one co-cast and he's setting his team up for his will. I love it.
No,
I love it.
Is that comp something you've practiced, or is it just like it just came out that way because those heroes are good on that map?
So it wasn't really planned for the triple blind. We did end up going in. We knew that we wanted a tank that could facilitate Junkrat being able to utilize his range. So we could set up on defense. We could have Junkrat just kind of siege down the enemy Immortal and kind of defend ours frequently. And then we knew that we wanted the top laner who could kind of clear top, fine, spar, okay, take camps, good. And, Malthael and Artanis were the 2 there. And then they banned the Malthael, so we got the Artanis. And then after that, it was like, well, we've already got Artanis and Malthael. Why not just pick up the Cassia, because we've already got the super synergy for it? So we just went for it.
Worked out.
Yeah.
All right. So what does the rest of the season look like for Macro Trash?
Macro Trash is going to go to playoffs. All right, we're gonna get whatever seed we get. We don't care, and we're gonna go through and we're going to beat the shit out of every team. Oh, sorry, beat every team.
No, too late.
And
you can't take it back now.
We're going to go to the finals.
Shots
and we're
fired.
gonna win, and everybody's just gonna have to bow to our glory.
I like the confidence, man. Swoop.
All right.
Any more questions on your part?
I have no more questions.
All right.
Just, it's been a fun season.
Yeah.
Good luck in the playoffs, but not too much luck. Much love.
Hedgie, shout outs, man. Floor is yours.
So shout outs. I'd really like to give a shout out to Martos. I know that Macro Trash was dealing with a little bit of roster issues towards the middle of the season. They ended up picking up me, so I'm a recent addition.
All right.
And Martos, who was the captain of the UTK dorm team, stepped in as our solo lane. And I think we've got a really good team going on here, and I really appreciate him stepping in. Shout outs to the rest of Macro Trash. They've been really great guys, really fun to play with, really awesome about learning new stuff and picking up new comps, and it's been a blast playing with them. And, shout out to moms, because it's fucking Mother's Day tomorrow. Or Sunday.
Darn heckin'.
All right. Stu Manchu, you got to give a shout out to Titans King because he was stroking you pretty hard in the end of that game.
Titans King, my dude. I appreciate it.
He's an NGS Twitch chat god.
Indeed, I've seen him in a lot of the channels. So you my dude.
All right, thank you,
All right.
and I hope to catch you guys at some point later in the season. You guys look fantastic in this set. Best of luck.
Thank you, thank you. You guys have a good one. Peace.
All right, that'll do it for the doubleheader. A special shout out to Swoopster for being bullied into doing this.
Shout out to you, Bobo.
Showing
It
up
was
big,
a
man.
lot of fun.
Absolutely. Dude, keep at it, man. NGS is awesome in that if you want to contribute in any way on the front end or the back end, you are more than welcome. Are you thinking about casting next season, or are you just going to keep trying to jump in on cast?
I'm not sure. Just kind of looking into it. I'm looking into it. I'm looking into just kind of all the ways to contribute. NGS has a lot going on. Been looking into writing. Been looking into casting.
Right on.
But unsure. Just kind of feeling it out.
All right. And where do we get to see Luxurian Sun next?
Luxurian Sun, you're gonna see against Taco Team next week. I'm not sure what stream we're on. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure they've been picked up yet.
Actually, you have. Okay, so Tuesday, the legend himself, the wise wizard, Bahamut has you guys.
Oh, wonderful!
Six,
starting the season on Bahamut, ending the season on Bahamut. It's a good way to go in and out.
Always a treat. He's the one and the only here. Yeah, so he's got you guys at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. That's on Tuesday. That game already picked up. I think that's so far the only. Nope, OSD and Amazing. He also picked up OSD and Amazing. Okay, Bahamut's getting ready for the playoffs, folks.
Yeah.
Baha.
Yeah, check us out there. Check us out on. We have a Twitter. If you want to follow, make sure that you're catching those streams. It's at Luxurian Sun.
Right on.
Yeah. Check us out.
All right, and for me, I've got a doubleheader tomorrow night. We have 2 matchups: Division A West and Division B West. We throw a couple of the upcoming is up on the board there, and right now we're gonna cut out and we are gonna throw the host over to Felindrith, one of our newer casters. Fal also does some work on the back end. He's just been a super awesome help. Keep an eye out on the meat hall and all the updates, guys, because big things are happening here with NGS. But thank you for jumping in on the cast. Throw the old boy Bobo a follow. I'm getting ready for playoffs too. It's been a pleasure, and once again, Swoop, thanks, man. Much appreciated.
Much love. Peace out.